Hey, I want to go ahead and tell you how excited I am to finally see you on this thing. Brad, thank you for taking your time to spend a little time with us, especially Sunday evening, for all our high school coaches out here. This is going to be an unbelievably special podcast, or not podcast, webinar rather, for me, because I had the pleasure of being across the sidelines from Brad for many years when he was at Abilene High. So he's somebody that takes a unique perspective. He's been in the high school coach's shoes, as well as now moved on into coaching at Mary Hardin-Baylor. Done an incredible job, incredible person, and I feel blessed and lucky to sit here and listen to what he's going to share with us on set pieces. And like I said, with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you for taking the time, sir.
Thanks for having me, Warren. Thanks for all those who are here tonight. Warren, your introductions are always too nice, man. You're too nice of a guy. I heard your introduction with Fred last week or a couple of weeks ago, and so I know you're full of it. But I do appreciate you, and you are a good guy. So don't expect too much. Anyone on here? We'll go over set pieces. I know I'm not going to insult your intelligence. You guys are all quality coaches and a ton of experience within here. So really my only aim is to share some ideas and some thoughts. And if you can pick up some nugget out of all this, then it was worth you tuning into the webinar, whether it be live or recorded version of this. So we'll dive in it, and then at the end maybe take some questions. I'd love to learn something while I'm here as well from some experienced guys here. So I'll share my screen. Hopefully I can get that done. Are we good there?
That is not showing up yet.
Okay.
I've got you in the. Let's go here. Yeah, is it showing share screen on your side?
Yeah. That's all it's doing for me though, Warren.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you what. You want to share it or send it to me right quick, and I'll run it from this side.
How about we do this?
Oh, something does happen. Oh no.
Will that work?
Not coming through.
How about now?
No. It's all right. No worries. If you want to share it over to me, you can send it to my email, and I'll pop it up, and I'll just click this side if you want to do that.
I'm sharing this to your email.
Yeah, if you'll just send it to me on your email or on my email, then I'll open it up on this side and I'll post it.
You may want to stop recording, Warren.
Huh?
You may want to stop recording here.
Yeah, I'll pause it.
Yeah. Because it's showing I can share.
Right.
Only host.
Usually when you hit the share, it'll have like a little mini screen on there. You got to click on again.
It's not popping up. That's what I thought. Let's try again here. How about now?
Yes. Got it. All right, I'm going to start recording again. All right, you're good to go.
All right. Sorry about that. These college coaches, we don't deal with all this technology very often. You guys are in the classroom all the time. You're better than I am. So the title of set pieces, mainly for us, is controlling the elements within the set pieces, or controlling the elements of the game as much as you can. And some of the subcategories this will throw at and just kind of hopefully discuss. Free kicks, throw-ins, corner kicks, kickoffs, and goal kicks. You guys all know as soccer coaches, we don't have our a lot of moments within the game. We don't have a whole lot of control. And so these are the few moments where I feel like as a coach that we can kind of dictate a little bit of the play. And you guys deal with high school players and teenagers, and we deal with teenagers / knuckleheads that sometimes we can't trust. So it's good to have some control. So obviously free kicks and just some things. We'll just go through some of these free kicks, just some things I think about. for us, at Hardin-Baylor, we talk a lot about purpose, and we're not just going to have a free kick to, for the sake of kicking the heck out of the ball, or you're either going to maintain possession or we're going to create a goal scoring opportunity. And everything we do is with a purpose. So every run we're making is with a purpose. And so the direction of that free kick is a backward, sideways, forwards, who our target is, who our target zone is, having some players on the field within that time who have some soccer savvy to them, whether they need to have a quick restart or just slow things down and reorganize. And then obviously the key ingredient with all these, I think we could all agree that if you don't have a server, then you're probably not going to be real good on set pieces and free kicks, certainly. Throw-ins for us, I'll just preface all these things. We have, I've been at Hardin-Baylor now for 15 years, and the latter probably 5 or so years, we've really realized the importance and the need for really developing throws and set pieces and manufacturing goals. And so for us, one big key ingredient is a throw-in in our game. So we have to have a guy who can, number one, throw the ball, and again, purpose. So a purpose within that throw, is it in the defensive third? What is our purpose? Is it to get out of pressure? Is it to now keep possession in the back line or in the defensive third and work our way out of it? Middle third, same thing. Attacking third, I'll tell you right now that our attacking third, we're looking to score anytime we get the ball in the attacking third for a throw. Targets need to be a ball winner, but within that target, are we screening, blocking, switching? Is he a false target? Is he going to allow another target to step up? And so we have all those things mapped out. And I'll give you some examples. Hopefully we have some clips, or I have some clips. Hopefully you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. A big thrower for us, we have a guy that we need on the field often. So it needs to be a big player for us who can launch the ball pretty well. And so in our recruiting, it's one thing we're looking at. And sometimes you get lucky with that, sometimes you don't. So within the throw, we want to talk about second ball cover, and there's going to throw a little wrinkle. And one wrinkle we have for the throw in, we will, I'll go on to the next one and come back to that. I need to be able to work these things out a little bit better. One wrinkle we have is our throw, whoever our thrower is going to throw the ball in, and everyone knows it. And everything I'm sharing, all of our competition knows what we do. And we take a lot of pride in the fact that everyone knows what we're going to do, and we can still execute our set piece as well. And so one thing, we will always have a guy, we will always have a wrinkle within whatever our system is. And in order to execute, everyone knows what we're doing. So you could show this webinar to anyone in our league, and they're all going to say, yes, we've seen Hardin-Baylor do that for the last several years. So we're not changing anything up. I thought this would be funny. Just wanted to show this. This is actually kind of a funny throw in. Ronaldinho got a little dirty. I'll mute it. So he's goalkeeper's being a nice guy, giving the poor guy a little drink. So Warren, I'd like to see you take this on to the high school level. Dirty but brilliant. I'd love to see you do it. Not even apologizing to the goalkeeper, or thanking him, I guess. Corner kicks. Thing to think about: a number of players commit within the corner. Do you want everyone in the box for the first ball? How many do you want out for a rebound and prevent counter? We're more likely to score from the second ball. I think we all know that. Target, player, or zone. So pick a player. Pick on a player. Pick on an opponent. if you know there's a weakness in the back line. So do your research as much as you can and scout out and see who can't head a ball and pick on that player. Server, again, critical. The signal for the ball or the signal for the service is important. We were in the NCAAs and was scouting the team and noticed this guy very casually, very nonchalant, was putting his hand on his hip and there's one hand and kind of messing with his shirt. And I said, okay, well, I wonder if that's something. And the next time doing the exact same thing. Next time he's doing something else, but it's a different ball served. And so really finding a good signal for your server is important. So and it needs to be a real, fixing a sock or a real, scratching an ear. I mean, just something that's subtle, and you don't want to over scratch your ear, right? And make everybody throw your signal out. But have a signal that everyone knows and change those signals up as the year goes on. Your service is important, in swinging versus out swinging. And then layers in a corner kick is really important. So I'm going to exit here real quick and talk about, so going back to the throws, what we do, this is our winger. He has the ball's gone out here. The winger is always going to hand the ball off to our thrower. He's not just going to leave it on the sideline. We want him handing it off to our thrower. As soon as he does that, as the thrower starts preparing, our winger comes back in, and we want our winger to check toward our thrower to give, obviously, an option back to the thrower. We can lay it off and play it back to the thrower. And I'll say this, for all those who are listening to this, I have not faced anyone who marks the thrower. And we mark the thrower all the time. And the guys are going to hear it if they're not marking the thrower. We don't face anyone who marks the thrower. And so it's always an option for us. And you see it, you watch games all the time. I just don't know many teams that's a big deal to mark the thrower. And so we can always play it back to the thrower if need be. The other option too is everyone knows it's going to be a long throw. This winger, as he has the ball in his hand, now he's not giving the ball to the winger. The winger takes off. Everyone's backing up. Normally their backs are to the thrower, and we throw the ball into the big throw, and we're getting in that way. But most of the time, the winger is going to come back in, check. Okay, after he checks, the ball's being served into our target. This generally is our target. This is our second ball man, and these are our rebound and second ball players here. We want our winger to now loop back around. If this throw, which our guys can pretty consistently put the ball right about this spot every time.
Hey, Brad, the video's not showing, or what you're showing. All we still see is the PowerPoint.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's on corner kicks.
Jeez. Well, I'm going through a whole deal here, Warren.
I know, I was enjoying it. I thought until you said throw it to this guy, I thought, there's no guy.
Well, let me see if I can fix that. I'll come back to it just so I don't waste time. Should be sharing that as well. Okay. All right, then let's move on, man. That's a fail. Okay. Well, we'll talk. We'll get back to corners, and then we'll show some highlight clips that should be on here of our videos. So thinking about target, in swinger, out swinger, layers, multiple options. We'll dive into that in a minute. Kickoffs. We even want to break it down to kickoffs and be very detailed in our kickoffs. Having some purpose in a kickoff. I'm a believer, and this is where I'm sure I differ from a lot of coaches in here. We don't want to go backwards on a kickoff. I know a lot of people want to keep possession off a kickoff, but for me, we don't want to go backwards and allow a team to press us in our defensive half. my goal and our purpose is to start the game in the opponent's half. And so we're gonna ping the ball, and it has purpose to the ping. We're not just gonna kick the heck out of the ball to the other side of the field, and it might roll out of bounds, and who knows, it might go straight to the goalkeeper, and we don't want that. And so we actually talked a lot about this the other day and practice with our server, not just hitting a ping ball, but lobbing a ball. And we've obviously got runners in, and so how he's serving the ball, it can't just be a straight ping ball into their back. So we're going to pick on a back. We know who we're going to serve the ball to, and then we've got runners in and different layers to run in for the second ball, and off we go to play. So we're gonna pick on the opposing player or zone. Fly the ball is important, and we need to have a plan for the second ball. So after we win that second ball, we have to have a plan. Goal kicks. I'll just say from Mayor Hardin-Baylor standpoint, we're going to high press the heck out of people. So we love teams who try to play it out of the back. We love teams, U.S. soccer style. Steffen's constantly coughing the ball up in the 18. We want teams who want to play really pretty out of the back on goal kicks, and so we're going to press them. Nothing wrong with it. If you can break the press, it's great, and we're really exposed if you can get that done. For us, we're not going to do that very often, but we're also not just kicking the ball without purpose. Again, we want to flip the field. We want to. We talk a lot about in our target bellying up. I'm sure a lot of you guys do that, but I see a lot of players that come through here who they've never been told to do what we ask them to do, and so what we're asking for guys on our goal kicks, not the opposing goal kicks. On our goal kicks, we're matched up. We're in someone's belly and we're backing them up. The main point there is easier if I've got 3 yards of space. The opponent, I'm not in someone's belly. The defender has 3 yards of space, and he's a two-step jump header is going to go 20, 30 yards, as opposed to a guy in my stomach having to jump over me and win the ball is certainly a much more complicated thing. And now the ball is landing 5, 10 yards, maybe going straight up in the air, and we're able to get the second ball. But we have people positioned in, if we were to win that ball in the belly up position, if we were to flick it on, we have runners going in behind, and we have runners going in underneath for goal kicks. So it's super important that we are practicing those situations. We're not just yelling those situations in a game. It's really important the guys are know what we're doing, and just with goal kicks. I mean, no one wants to really work on goal kicks, but we do. Just some examples, and I thought it was interesting for set pieces. So in 2017, Mary Hardin-Baylor men, we were regular season champs, tournament champs, Sweet 16 appearance, and got beat in Chicago. Of that year, 39 goals scored, 15 were set piece goals. We had 14 goals against, and 6 were set piece goals. So we scored roughly about 43% of our goals. 42% of our goals were off of restarts, mainly corners and throw-ins, mainly. So now we can dive into some video, since y'all couldn't see my other screen, and we'll kind of walk through a video here, and hopefully we can all see this. Let me scroll through it and make it so I can make it bigger here. Okay, so I'm gonna talk through this since we can't see the field. So one thing we do, everything, we have a base system for every goal, every corner kick. It's going to look like this every time, and so again, all of our opponents know exactly what we're going to do. The guy right near the goalkeeper, that's our number 1 player. He's always going to check out every corner kick, there'll be a trailing, a number 2 player. Every corner kick is going near between the goalkeeper and the near post. Every corner kick, we have a guy deep, far other side of the box. I'm not sure you can even see that right now. And then we have our runners in here. And this is against UT Tyler. They've scouted us. They know one option for us is the number 1 player to check out here, and he can play a ball on the ground. He can turn if he can, play it back, whatever. He's got multiple layers, multiple options to turn. The second player is checking in. We can skip number 1, play number 2. And so it's just multiple layers out of the exact same base. In this situation, since UT Tyler knew what we were doing, you'll notice their movement. Our job and our goal is to try to get those guys moved out of the zone that we want to play into, right? So you'll see all of them taking a step to cover, and we play in. Even the goalkeeper, watch the goalkeeper taking a step away because he's worried about our number 2 player. So I'll show you again. So number 1 is checking out. Number 2 is in this space now, and everyone now. We have called the signal to play in this space to our best target. And he comes through, wins the ball. So I think it's really key for us, has been super key just to exploit space and zones and players, but also just have the same base. And so out of that, teams know what we're doing, but they don't know which one we're doing, right? So we have 5 different situations that make it difficult. Here is a throw-in, and since we'll talk through this since we can't see the other board, but this is UT Tyler and the final. So the corner kick was UT Tyler in the regular season, and a huge pivotal game for us to make it into where we're hosting the conference tournament to keep that number 1 seed. And this is the championship game, and off of a throw-in. So set pieces were big games for us. All right, so this is the winger I'm talking about. He's handed the ball off. Now he's checking out. He should be looping back around. We see he's looping back around. The ball is now served into our number 1 target. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. Their main role is to find the second ball, which we do well here. So I'll back it up again. So our winger checks out. It's super important that he is now in to stay underneath this target. Some throws aren't as long as the others, right? And so some throws aren't going to be at his head, or some throws might get won by the defensive player. So we want this winger to collect that second ball off of that target or the defender. If it's a ball that's to his chest, it didn't go as far as normal, he knows to knock it down. Don't try to make something of it with his back to goal. Try to knock it down. Now the winger is in place to knock to collect the second ball and play from there. Again, no one's defending the thrower. Our second runner does a great job in this instance for sure, timing his run off his head, almost offsides. It's also important to see just, again, the options we have short here. Let's see, I'm going to show you something real quick. And so if we find he's already doubled up before, like they've got a guy front and back, and what we told our guys to do, again, they know the other wrinkle to this is he's checking back now. So if he's our main target, most teams might know who our main target is. He's going to get himself out of this, drag 2 defenders, normally their 2 best ball winners, with them to get out and in the frame, and then someone else will come in his place and become our target. So the guys all know that as well. Just another wrinkle in the throw. I can't tell you how many. I don't know how many. We've scored a lot of goals off of throws. So 2017, we had 12 seniors, which is almost abnormal in a college setting. I know you guys might have 19 seniors on a roster, but for a college setting, for 12, that was a big class. 9 of those guys started. So then we go and fast forward, we go to 2018. and we lost 9 starters, and we're starting 8 to sometimes 9 freshmen in 2018. So Coach Allen and I really earned our money in 2018. We in 2017 we kind of just took our foot off the gas, let those guys go. But 2018 we really had to work and manufacture goals and figure things out as we were very, very young. We still had a great ball winner. That was the difference, and you'll see here in a minute of really kind of why we won. So 16-4-1, ASC tournament champions, NCAA second round, 49 goals scored that year. We're not scoring a whole lot of goals. 26 set piece goals. That is whatever 50 whatever percent of the goals scored that year were set piece goals. 22 goals against and 7 goals were set piece goals. A pivotal game for us, and again, you're going to see the same. This is the next year. Same basic setup. Here's our number 1. Here's our number 2. We got our runners here, and then back here we should have a guy in our what we call our 4 position. He's made the call. This call is we're dragging number 1 away. Number 1 knows that if it's a ball to his head, he knows to flick it on. Hardin-Simmons, this is against Hardin-Simmons. They know, so they're trying to post up, and they know we're trying to go near post at this. And so his job at that point is to flick it on to our number 2 player, and you'll see the result here. So again, we're dragging. We want to be dragging defenders, dragging people out of the way. And he knows if it's ball to his head, to flick it on, and then we're looking for the second ball. So many second ball wins are important. This is the same year in the conference final championship game. This freshman, talking about server, this freshman set school record that year for assist in a year, and it's all due to serving to obviously a ball winner, but a great service of the ball every time. Very consistent. Sorry. Let's get back to that. So you'll see in this, I want to show you guys a run that, again, is drawing people out of it. So this run here, a false target, is dragging 2 defenders. He's a ball winner. He's dragging 2 defenders here while we're trying to play the ball in back post. So we're trying to drag 2 defenders out of the zone that we want to play. This is a false target. Got 2 guys on him, and you'll see just behind him where the ball goes. It was too late for that center back to adjust and try to win the ball. I'll show you again. It's a well-placed ball, obviously, dragging defenders away into the center of the goal, and for our ball winning machine to win the ball. He scored, I think, 11 goals that year, center back, set pieces. There's some interesting stats for you, really the rest of the way. HSU women, so Marcus Wood and I are good buddies. Actually helped him a little bit when I was in Abilene still. In 2010, they won the national championship, 24-0-1. And look at this crazy stat next. 113 goals scored and 45 corner kick goals. He'd be the first to tell you that every big game he scores a corner, and he relies heavily on set pieces and mainly corners to win those games. In the national championship game in 2010 against Messiah College, he scored 2 first half corner kick goals, and then defended with his life the remainder of the game. And what an incredible accomplishment for the HSU women that year. And again, I'll say this: everyone knows, our women's coach, Coach Elkins, knows they better be defending corners, and it doesn't matter how much you practice. HSU is so good at what they do; it's difficult to consistently every corner they get, they're going to put something on a frame at some point in the game. 2017, they were short of the national championship. Got into the NCAA Final Four, 23-1, and that stat was impressive as well. 110 goals scored and 42 corner kick goals. So we're not talking set pieces; we're talking corner kicks. Very, very impressive, and I can tell you that they have practice and they certainly know what they're doing. And I'll back up. He did say they know women's soccer just all comes down to, I'm sure there's some girl coaches on here, but women's soccer comes down to girls wanting to head the ball, and having a girl that is willing to go get the ball, he's going to be able to use that girl. So if the girl's willing to go and throw her body around and head the ball, he will use that girl, because there are very few, even in the college game, that want to just be big ball winners and, eating through a straw when they're 33. There are very few women who want to do that. So that they will pick on teams, they will pick on goalkeepers, they will pick on defenders who don't want to any part of a ball in the air, and they identify who their girl is. Oftentimes, again, it's knocking the ball down for a second ball goal, but they find themselves a ball winner, and then they pick on the other teams who don't have those ball winners, pick on the zones and the players. Interesting stats here. 2018 FIFA World Cup, 70 total set piece goals. 43% of all goals scored were off set pieces. 5 of 11 in the quarterfinal matches, 2 of 4 in the semifinal matches, and then 2 in the final. England had a phenomenal year that year, making it to the semis, and 9 of 12 goals for England that year were all set piece goals. Pretty impressive stat. There's challenges, and this is where I'd love to have some feedback and talk here in a minute. But there are the challenges and why people don't. If we know that if this stat 43% is we had 42% one year and 50-something% another year, then why does Mary Hardin-Baylor and Coach Bankhead not spend 50% of our time on set pieces? And it's draining. There are details involved. The biggest thing for me was always getting players to stay engaged within that session. And that is a challenge, certainly. If you're not able to see my board, I can't go through that session, which I had planned for you, that we've identified the last couple of years, a little Anson Dorrance session that we got out of the National Convention a couple of years ago. That's an incredible session, keeps everyone involved and engaged. You've got 22 players out there, and it's a great set piece session. But difficulty of game replication. You might be a couple of days before a game. You don't want people banging heads trying to work on set pieces. If your players know exactly where every ball is going to go, so it's difficult to replicate a game. And it's just time. It just takes time, and some people just aren't willing to. And you hope that your team's good enough to win without set pieces. And I challenge anyone who has that mindset that when you're in the big games, like I said here in the last point here, it's a great equalizer. You might be in a game that you're in over your head, you're kind of getting beat, or you're the team that's doing the dominating and you get scored on. Set piece is a great equalizer. For us, for Mary Hardin-Baylor, certainly in 2018, we just had to manufacture goals. And there's no better way, no easier way than set piece. But you just got to figure out a way to score goals. And when you don't have, maybe you don't have the attacking players and attacking third, whatever, for that year, you got to figure out other ways. And so if you're too lazy to train, then you're not going to be manufacturing goals. You're going to be dependent upon the flow of the game, and sometimes you're going to struggle and suffer as the year goes on. A big part of what set piece does, and again, like I said before, it allows you to control the elements. It's the one time the ball stopped. It's the one time that you have gone over this certain scenario, this situation in this part of the field. And now you can control who goes where the other team's going, how the ball's played. You have complete control of that situation for a few seconds, minute, whatever it might be. Also, lastly, you're just dictating the flow of the game. There could be you're trying to finish a game off. Or you are the undermanned, you're an undermatched team. Set pieces and just slows the game down, dictates the flow of the game. And we face opponents that way. And I'm not going to name names, but we face several teams that it's 20 minutes of the game is fetching a ball. 20 minutes of the game, you're having to set up to defend a goal kick, or you're defending a long throw. Or I mean, it kills the game. That's a great game plan when you're a little bit outmatched. And so so I'd love to just kind of open it up. I'm sorry that my field wasn't working to show, but I'd love to open up for some discussion, some thoughts, and maybe you guys have wrinkles or ways of running sessions. Yeah, what do you guys have?
Hey, Brett, can we try something? Can you go and unshare and then try to reshare that other screen?
Okay.
No, Dave Rascon says something in the chat about that. So you can like unshare it.
Or maybe a new share. Let's try this. Are we good?
I was kind of excited about the there. Yeah, look at this. Oh, the green, is it a field with blue and red markers?
Yep.
It's on.
Okay, very good. So this is what I was trying to share earlier, and this college coach can't figure out technology. So I won't bore you guys. I think we all get to throw in. I will say that the corner. I'll go over that real quick, and then go over the what we want to do for a session, and see if anybody has seen this session. And it's been a game changer for us, I know. So for our corner, this is the number 1 run over here in blue. He is always going to check out. And let's just say this red defender is overplaying this side, because as soon as the server, and it comes down to the server, he needs to be demanding the ball back. This guy is just here for cover. If this red defender overplays the shoulder of our number 1 runner, then it's just a turn. It's a shield. Don't even touch the ball. Shield, turn, and now we're in. If he's a good defender and holds his case, and he serves the ball back, or plays the ball back to the server, who whips it in, right? If we call our number 2, then we are skipping our number 1, playing into our number 2, who then knocks it down to our number 1, who's looped back around and can have a banger from there. Regardless, though, you have to defend these guys. Regardless, though, I mean, we have some teams, obviously have a guy standing at 10 yards out, and so they're wasting a defender. But you have to take notice of these guys. So now you're limiting players, like you saw in the UT Tyler. They're all taking a step because they don't know what we're running. So they're all taking a step and defending these guys. And then our number 3, our 2 best ball winners here in the mix, depending on the zone, depending on who we're playing, the signal we've called, it will determine who we're playing here on our number 3. And then lastly, our number 4, we're just hitting a goal kick. So this guy out back here is just someone who can dominate in the air on goal kicks, who is winning the ball defensively all the time on a goal kick. Oftentimes that guy sucks at scoring a goal in the attack. He can't head a ball down. And so we're just going to, I'll tell our server, just ping a goal kick to the back post, who then obviously he's winning the goal kick, quote unquote, back into the mix. These guys have framed up the goal. And we should look something like this as the ball's now traveled over our heads, and we are here to win the second ball. So always, for the last 5-6 years, exact same base every time. And you have to You know what's coming. You just don't know which one is coming. So from a practice standpoint, I'll share this real quick. If this is a coach here in red, and this is a coach here, we'll go ahead and get into our base system. Missing a player somewhere. I can't see him on my screen. So you're serving a ball in. This coach has a stack of balls. I'm going to throw a defender or attacker here in red. So this coach has a stack of balls, or he's holding a few balls. We don't want to get in the way, but we're running our play. So we're practicing our corner, whatever the corner is. We do have a team defending these guys, so it's not just blue going against nobody. But just so we don't muddy up the water on this, I want to show you just with the blue attacking. So we serve a ball. Immediately after the ball is either scored or cleared or whatever it might be, I am dropping a ball into either this guy, or I'm throwing a ball into this guy, or I'm dropping a ball at his feet to show a rebound. Ball came out, and those guys are looking to make a decision, either having a hammer on goal, or if it's this guy out here, then we're looking to serve a ball in, depending on where you are. So as soon as they have a hit or a service, once that ball is dead, our second coach, Coach Allen, will ping a ball into anywhere in here. So then it becomes, we have a picture of our two defenders taking care of the one target and making sure we don't get countered on. I see it all the time. You guys have seen it all the time. As coaches, we've experienced it. You've got a corner, and then boom, you've given up a goal. And so then it's a battle for, we want to have a guy front and back of this target. Coach Allen pings a ball, and then it should be won by blue. When we win it is really important. What do we do then? So if this guy wins the ball, what does he do? What does this guy do when he wins the ball? What does this guy do when he wins the ball? What does this guy do? What do these guys do? And a lot of times you're going to hear us guys, and we're just going to be dumping the ball back in. It's very dangerous, or playing the ball out to dump back in. Another thing we see a lot is guys wins the ball here. We've got a wave of red coming at him, and he is trying to possess out of that, trying to be cued out of it, dribble out of it, whatever, and lose the ball, and off they go to the races again. So we're coaching up through that. We've got 22 players playing through. We've got the service. We've got the ball that I drop is immediately after the service. And we've got the ball that he's pinging into our two defenders versus one attacker. The goal, again, is to, number one, win the ball. How do we shut the attacker down? We win it. We end the counterattack. And then what do we do with the ball at that point? We feel like that for us and our guys, and staying engaged, that's really helped, certainly from a corner kick standpoint. So what questions, guys? What thoughts, questions does anyone have? Anything?
All right. So, I'm going to go ahead and post everybody back up in. So I'm going to make everybody a panelist again. This is usually the best part of the webinar as well. You'll see some old faces coming in too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me get that back up. I got to reclaim the host right quick. There's Dave Rascon. Here's somebody. There's old Ben's coming in. Here's our Midland boy.
Well, Chris Bryant. Go around the game. Look at him.
He's a Grizzly Adams now.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. All right. I think got the last. I'm trying to figure out how to get Patrick in. Now, here we go. All right. So now everybody's a panelist right now. And then I think go to let's see if I can. Yeah, do you want to go and hit stop share on your end? Oh, there you go. All right. Okay, now here we go. So everybody's back in full speed. And then we'll turn it over to you. Anybody have questions for Brad or comments? I said, thank you so much for today, by the way. And it's so good to see you again, especially this. This was really good. I've enjoyed the session quite a bit.
Coach, how much time do you spend in like typical practice or a week or month, like installing all this? I know most of your players are used to it, but like for your newcomers and all that, where in the season, all that?
Not as much as we should, to be real honest with you, but yeah, we've got days where it's just straight set piece days and they're boring as heck. And we have to tell these guys, I mean, I know they're here to play and run around. And at the end of the day, it's really drilling in their head, like the importance of the set piece. And if you can claim, listen, we win championships because of the set piece. And so for whatever reason, and you guys might agree or disagree, but I feel like, we got all these football players who can remember playbooks, stacks of massive playbooks. And some of those guys struggle, in the classroom, right? So I feel like we've got some really intelligent soccer players. And what gets me is that they've never really been, some have never really been trained to remember where they're supposed to go. And so you got to, my goodness, dude, this is real difficult, complicated. So it's really drilling in their head, like this detail is super important and you have to do this detail over and over and over. So it takes a ton of time. It takes a ton of build up as the season goes on and progresses. And certainly earlier in the season, we're doing it more. But as the season progresses, it's probably 2 days a week, a day and a half of we're just going over set pieces. And I'll say that, they may not like it, but it's good on the legs, at least, that. And I've been, as a player, I hated set piece days, high school and college. A lot of times it was a big goof off session. So really being detailed and making sure guys aren't just standing around is super important. You guys know, you guys are all veteran coaches, that lines are terrible and you don't want a bunch of guys standing on the sideline watching this, and you want them involved. And so we spend a good amount of time to answer your question, but it's about drilling it in their head of this is really important and here's your role, a very detailed role, and here's your role. And I think for us, that's why the base system for me is so good, because they're not having to figure out, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be at this place on this corner or this set piece or whatever. It's the same place every time. When I recall your number, it's different, but you're in the same spot every time.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Coach Bankhead. I had a question. Do you guys use that same, or do you guys have a base system that you use off of like longer set pieces, whether they be from midfield or 40 yards out or 30 or whatever?
Yeah, we do. If it's like, in fact, the goal that was scored against UTD in the 2018 conference final, that is a play we practice often. And it's the exact same setup and base system. And it's just what we're calling and who the players we're calling is different. Even at midfield, we have a play from midfield. We're not just, sometimes it's a possession play, and other times we're lumping it in the box. And if we feel like the opposing team has got a goalkeeper that struggles in the air, we're going to lump a lot of stuff in the box and make him really have to work for it. But everything we do, throw in, set piece from midfield, set piece from 30 out in the wing, it's all the same base. Now, I didn't talk about, we don't do a whole lot of trickery, sorcery. If it's 20 out in the frame of the goal, that's just a dude can bang the ball in, he's going to bang the ball in. But everything else, that's a good question, Greg. We have we have a base and everything.
So do you spend much time on defending set pieces as well, or how much time do you spend on that?
Not as much as attacking. But yeah, I mean, we certainly within that, like for instance, like corner drill. I mean, that's why I like that corner session. You can do that with all of your set pieces. And so you're having to work on the defensive aspect of it. And, like I said, it's a little bit complicated. Really, for all of it, it's complicated. You just don't want guys going and banging heads. I mean, I know that if I go out and have a defensive session and better win this corner over this guy, we're going to have some split heads and it changes a little bit. So we talk more about roles and responsibilities and placement more than we do going 11 and figuring it out, but we walk through it.
So you go more on the defensive side, more of a zone or a man or a combo?
Little combo. Yep. We've got our 3 best ball winners across the 6, and everyone else is matched up.
Gotcha. Cool deal. And then the throw-ins, looks like it's all running kind of the same basic runs, or?
Yeah, exact same. Exact same runs, exact same guys hand the ball off to the thrower. The winger's coming back, and so yeah, it's always the same base. The only thing that might change, like I said, if our main target is doubled up, we have a place for him to go basically. So if he's doubled up, this guy's got to take the place, and they've got to switch. And so we're hoping that we have 2 good targets in the box, and they really dial in on one and let him become the false target and drag 2 defenders out of our way. And it happens occasionally. I mean, and so, but we have a guy who can launch. I mean, literally, sometimes he throws the ball too far. When he's flipping, he's throwing the ball across goal out of the other end line. I mean, so sometimes it's just too much. But so we have to kind of reel him in a little bit. But so obviously, some people don't have the luxury of guy lumping the ball in the box. And I know a lot of high school fields are certainly more narrow, and so you might have that guy. But if you don't, you just got to come up with a system. And again, it's so much as second ball in. So many goals are scored on the second ball.
Let's just look around. Does anybody have any more questions or comments? It looks like we've hit the hour mark, and I sure appreciate you taking the time tonight. It was unbelievably interesting, and I'll be putting this stuff in practice this next week. I do appreciate your time and your knowledge, and it's so good to see you again too, by the way.
Great to see you guys, man. I see some familiar faces. It's good to see you.